Yo, what is going on, Top Shot people? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Eric. My Top Shot name is Nifty Sports. That's NFTY Sports. I am so excited to bring you this video today. We're going to be going over my top 5 tips for Series 3. It's right around the corner, and we all need to get ready for Series 3. It's going to be an exciting time, and I can't wait to get into my top 5 tips. For those of you who are new to the channel and don't know who I am, first of all, I want to welcome you. Secondly, I'm a top 0.3% collector. I got into Top Shot actually in late February of 2020. It was a crazy time. It's been a crazy journey. And one of my motivations to starting this channel was to help people who are new not make the same mistakes that I did. I've learned a lot along the way, and I like to give that information back to the Top Shot community so that people can build their collection in the best way possible and be geared up with all the knowledge that they need to build a solid collection. So I put out about 2 full-length videos per week. I also do brief 1-minute update videos on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. I talk news, I talk strategy, and it's really to help give value to the new collector, the experienced collector, people who are collecting commons, collecting rares, collectors of all levels and budgets. I try to do something for all of them on this channel. So if you like this stuff and you get value out of this video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, comment, and like. Last thing before we get started is that I also do giveaways once a week on this channel. So I'm announcing a special giveaway right now. In order to be entered into the giveaway, I'm doing them for my YouTube subscribers. So just drop your Top Shot name in the comment section of this video, like the video, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And at the end of the week, I will pick 3 winners of moments that I will be giving out, surprise moments, to send out on NBA Top Shot gifting. So it's something that I love doing. It's something that I'm excited about continuing doing into the near future. And I decided to pick 3 winners this week because we're talking about Series 3, and I'm fired up that it's so close, right around the corner. Now let's get into my top 5 tips on NBA Top Shot for Series 3. Here they are. All right, y'all, we'll start it off with tip number 5. Tip number 5 here is a super important one, and it's one that I've been using a lot lately. I like to think of moments as like companies or stocks, right? Each individual moment has a specific, details about it. How many mint counts does it have? What details is it? Is it, how liquid is the moment, right? You really need to figure this stuff out. And my thing is, rather than go out and just buy a ton of different random moments all over the board, which is totally fine too, if that's what you like to do, I like to focus in on certain moments that I know really well. I know how the market moves with them, and not only buy one of them, but buy at least 2, if not 3, 4, because what I like to do is, even though I'm a true collector and I want to build my portfolio, my collection really long-term on NBA Top Shot, it's also nice to know moments where you can make some money off of in the short term and then use that profit to build your collection. So that's really what I'm looking to do. Let's take a look at my collection right now, and I'll show you how I've been doing it very recently. All right, here's my profile, and here are my most recent buys. As you can see, this is my second Jason Richardson. The Run It Back set just came out a couple of days ago, and I think the prices are low right now. I think it's a good time to get in if you're a rare collector. I think they see a rise as the season starts to come. So I've been stacking up on double because, like I said, I'd like to profit on one, and then I'd like to keep one in my collection. So 2 Jay Rich, 2 Paul Pierce, got 2 Baron Davis, and then some other common moments as well. So this goes true across all tiers. You got, some common moments of Giannis. I got some Michael Porter Jr.'s, Zion's, some Dame Lillard's. This one's crazy. He does a game-winning shot here at the buzzer. It's awesome. It's in Chicago. A couple Shays, some Jokic. I doubled up on Steve Nash. I doubled up on a couple of people here because, like I said, when things start to run up, especially if you believe that you're buying at a good time, it's really tough to get rid of moments and take profits if you only have one, if you're a collector, because you really want to keep that moment in your collection, right? Like, I want my collection to be amazing. So the way that I've found that's best to do it is to take those moments that I really like, rather than buy, 2 or 3 or 4 different moments. I would rather have 2 of one moment or 3 of one moment, so that I can sell 2 out of the 3, still hold one in my collection, and then use those profits to buy moments in the future. So, and keep that Dapper liquid and all that good stuff, because there's always something coming out that you want to get your hands on, and always new packs to buy and all that good stuff. So that's tip number 5. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll move here into tip number 4. All right, here's tip number 4 for you. Okay. Tip number 4 is to be extremely cautious when it comes to challenges or quests. Okay. I know sometimes they're super, super fun to take part in, but you got to remember that there are a ton of people out there, especially if you're new. There's a ton of savvy buyers out there who have stacked up moments in anticipation of challenge. Type of moment, so that they can profit on run-ups in prices, right? So sometimes it's not always worth it to complete a challenge. A lot of us have learned this the hard way, right? When you're entering a challenge, it's really going for basically like a serial number lottery, right? Make sure you monitor the challenges, how many people are completing it. So if you know the mint count is going to be a bottleneck, then that may be a good one to go after. But it's always a possibility to go after the challenge and just do your due diligence as much as possible on whether or not it's going to pencil out to complete it, or if it's going to make sense to just pick up that moment at the end. I would say it's best to do the challenge if you have a couple moments already. Plus, there are moments that you want to hold long term, because initially they will see an absolute dip. In a traditional challenge, you're going to see a dip. So make sure you're aware of that. Here's where you can find the challenges. I will pull them up real quick. Now, what I'm talking about specifically is not as much, it hasn't been as big of an issue on the showcase challenges, but definitely on the regular challenges, right? So make sure you're looking at data on these things. You can look at live token, you can look at evaluate market, own the moment. Those are just a couple good resources to see who is completing these challenges, how many people have completed them, how many people are 10%, 20%, 30% of the way there. I will make a separate video on that sometime in the future, but you need to be really cautious when it comes to challenges in series 3. I'm definitely going to be sitting back a little bit to see exactly how things are going to work. And of course, make sure to know the roadmap on the challenge and what all of it really entails. So it's also an opportunity to buy if you don't want to complete the challenge reward, and you know that there's a moment that's needed to get that challenge reward, know that that's going to dip after the challenge. So make sure you're really cautious about that. That's number 4. All right, here's tip number 3. I think this is a huge tip for you, and it's going to be super helpful. A lot of people have different thoughts about this, right? And here's my thought. Don't be afraid to sell a moment that you bought, okay? Sometimes you'll buy a moment at the right time, right? If you have a long-term mindset and it's a good moment, then, and you have a reason for buying it, then likely, you might be okay long-term, right? Who knows? It's still really early to tell, but don't be afraid to cut a moment that you think you made a mistake on at a loss, right? There's always opportunity cost in Top Shot. Some people will absolutely not sell for a loss. That's just their philosophy. For me, it's like putting a stop loss on stocks, right? So if there's a dip of 10%, 20%, or whatever your comfortability threshold is, go ahead and sell that moment, because chances are it'll continue to go down maybe, and maybe you can buy it at an even lower price after you sell it, right? Just monitor the moment. Again, there's a ton of tools out there. Evaluate Market is probably the best one for individual moments. I'm doing a separate video on Evaluate Market dropping very, very soon, so take a look out for that. But yeah, make sure don't be afraid to cut a moment if you see a better opportunity out there, because a lot of times what I do is, if I make a mistake on buying a moment and it's coming down and I don't think it's coming back up for a long time, and I see an opportunity to snipe something low that I think is going to be really opportunistic and maybe take off, then I'll just sell and then get into something else, right? Just like you would in other investments or other strategies. So let's take a look real quick. I will show you my spreadsheet of what I use to keep track of all my moments. Take a look here. I'm just going to give you a real quick peep into this, but these are all the moments that I have bought and sold since I got into the platform. As you can see, there's been over 500 transactions on here. I've sold some of them, I've bought some of them. Some of them I have a target in mind that, like I said, if I want to sell it at a 25% gain, 30% gain, whatever it is, if I want to double up on it, make 50% profit, then I will sell it, right? A lot of times I will use that to trade into more rare moments, and I'm going to continue to use that strategy kind of going forward into series 3, especially on some of the series 2 moments that are a little bit less common, that would let me get into some series 3 rares, or just stuff that I really want to collect. Like I'm talking Carmelo and Russell Westbrook's first moment on the Lakers, just like a ton of cool stuff like that. So guys change teams, they become more relevant in certain spots of their careers. People just have takeoff and breakout seasons, or just amazing moments that drop on the platform. So that is a piece of advice that I have, is track everything very diligently, and don't be afraid to sell at the right time. If you're going to sell a moment that comes up in a challenge, or if you rip a pack with a roadmap that's coming up, make sure you sell it in that challenge if you don't plan on completing it, because that's going to be the peak of that moment selling. So that is my piece of advice for number 3. All right, y'all, before we jump into number 2, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment. Especially subscribe, it's super important. We're building a great community here on the channel. We have a lot of great people that are helping each other out, build their collections on Top Shot in the best way possible. I keep you updated all the time on the news that's going on with NBA Top Shot, and we talk strategy, and it's good stuff for beginners, rare collectors, and experienced collectors as well. So I try to keep something for everybody on this channel. So going into number 2, this is a big one, and this is a little bit more of an advanced type tip, right? It's about speculative buying, which is buying moments to profit on at low cost, kind of like early in the game, in anticipation of selling them at a profit short term, like as a challenge. I'll pull up my collection here to show you a little bit of speculative buying that I have been doing lately around the archive set. Take a look. Before I get started, I would say that the most important thing to do when you're speculative buying is to make sure that you are doing it at low cost, and that you're not overextending yourselves, because it is highly risky to do, right? I know for a fact that if my predictions aren't right, then I'm going to be losing money probably on these moments in the short term, at least. Maybe not long term, but likely in the short term. So or they'll just stay flat and I won't be making any money off of them, and then I'll have to liquidate them to get some stuff that I actually want. But it's like I said, it's a high risk strategy, so be careful. Make sure you're doing it with money that you're comfortable with, just as anything that you would do on Top Shot. But here's what I've been doing lately with this archive set. I've been actually preparing for quests, if they have quest challenges in the archive. So what I did is I went to the archive moment. I collected a few of the rare run it backs, but what I did is I went to the low cost moments in the set, right? I just filtered the set from low to high, and what I did is I picked up all these archive moments that were Top Shot debuts. Okay, so in the past couple of weeks, in the past month, at least over the summer, there have been quests, whether it's for packs or for the WNBA fandom moments. And I know there's going to be a couple fandom, like archive type moments, common moments for the archive set, which is why I really think this might be happening, where you need something like, for example, 3 Top Shot debuts within the archive set to complete this quest, right? Or even for the WNBA, I believe there was one where, I think it was actually an NBA one, where you needed a full 10 moment showcase of Top Shot debuts. So what I did to prepare for, a typical quest for, this archive set, is I went in and I just doubled up on some of the bottlenecks, which is the 10K moments. I got double on the Jermaine O'Neal, I got double on the Sean Marion, Elton Brand. And then I also picked up one of each of the Top Shot debuts that were cheaper, right? So I'm talking like under $10 for each moment. Some of these were $6 or $7 that I was able to scoop them up on. And what my goal is on this is to either, if I like the challenge and I have enough moments to complete it for, a really low cost rather than have them get inflated, I will do that. right? But if I don't want to complete the challenge and I figure it's one that a lot of people are going to do, then maybe I take some profits on these early as the cost of them runs up. I make some profit on the moment, and then I can use it to buy either the reward or any other moment that I want to buy on the platform. So that's a strategy that I use to, speculate buying. Be careful with what you're doing, especially if you're speculating. Make sure that it's money that you can, afford to lose, and moments that you want to hang on to if your plan doesn't play out, or that you can dump for a little bit of a loss. So that is a huge piece of advice. That's number 2. We'll move on to number 1. And this one is so big. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like this stuff. I'm excited to get into number 1 because it's the number 1 thing that I wish I would have known going into season 2. And the same thing will happen in season 3. All right, y'all, we're down to the number 1 tip for series 3, and this one is so huge. I wish I would have known this in series 2. It is to know the roadmap like the back of your hand. They're dropping an article very soon about a series 3 roadmap for the entire set. They're going to say stuff like how many are minted in potential MGLEs, how many are minted per player, right? How many different moments is each player going to have? They promise some transparency on that front for series 3, which will be super helpful in you not getting burned on moments. So the more you know it, the better off you're going to be. And not only do you need to study the full entire series 3 roadmap, you need to study each individual drop. And this is how to do it. Take a look. This page needs to be, like, if you're a Top Shot fanatic, saved as like one of the top pages, period. You need to get familiar with this page, right? This is the NBA Top Shot blog where they go over every new announcement. You get it directly from the NBA Top Shot page. Go to community, go to blog, latest announcements. It's right at the top bar. It's super easy to find. So the newest announcement was the D-Wade vintage fandom moment. Okay. There's a bunch of other good stuff on here. This is an access unlocked in real life type challenge, but the run it back and the archive set, this is what I'm talking about specifically, you all, for roadmaps on series drops, right? If you go into this thing right here, the run it back and archive set, they'll tell you exactly that. They'll give you all the details, right? They say that there's a second archive drop coming for the run it back, which is super important. And I want to take a look at one moment specifically that I want to pick up. It's one of the most amazing moments. It's this Damian Lillard game winner in the playoffs. It's going for $55 right now. A lot of people are buying this thing up, right? And that may be a good thing to buy right now. It may come out in a challenge or something like that. There's only 10,000 minted. That's great. But if you just want to look at this moment as owning it as a long-term piece of your collection, it's not a good time to buy quite yet, because there are still 3,802 hidden in packs that will come out on the next drop. So if you're going to be in that next drop, you may even be able to just pull it in a pack. If not, then double the supply is going to be available on the marketplace or in collectors' hands very soon, probably, I don't know, within the next couple weeks or month, whenever they drop the next archive drop. But that is the best time to buy it, when everything is released. Now, don't hold me to it, because things could change. Say, for example, if millions of more users come in and they all want this moment, and there's a high, demand for it and just a lot of competition, then the price could still go up. You never know. But I don't see that happening like within the next week or two. So what I'm doing on this one specifically is I'm waiting until those are released. Same with the LeBron James playoff game-winning shot that they just released in the archive set too. So make sure you know the roadmap. And for reals, if you want to follow, just subscribe to the channel, and I will do my best to break down every single roadmap for you on sets that come out. And I read through all the fine print on all these things. So something that I find super, super important on NBA Top Shot. You can also follow me on Twitter, and I'll tweet out some stuff there. It's a good way to keep informed, not only me, but there's tons and tons of other people out there that are even subscribers to the channel, or just in the Twitter space in general, that are great sources of information for NBA Top Shot. So There you go. That is my number one tip. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing. I really appreciate the support that I've been getting on this channel. I'm excited to help people that are both new, experienced, beginning, rare collectors, common collectors, everybody on this platform help build their collection in the best way possible by keeping you updated on NBA Top Shot and everything else out there on the platform. So again, I will see you on the next video and talk to you soon.